It's true. I don't like every book. Some books I feel should have never been published. The first book on this list is When by Victoria Laurie. I don't actually have this book with me because I got it from the library, and if you know anything about me, you know I hate libraries. And you might be like, Emily, why would you hate libraries? You know you love books. Libraries are scary. I don't like them. So I will read you the synopsis off my phone because I can memorize the title and the name, but not a synopsis. Okay, so this is a ginormous paragraph. I'll read you the first couple sentences. Maddie Flynn is a shy high school junior, cursed with an eerie, intuitive ability. She sees a series of unique digits hovering above the foreheads of each person she encounters. Her earliest memories are marked by these numbers, but it takes her father's premature death for Maddie and her family to realize that these mysterious digits are actually death dates, and just like birthdays, everyone has one. Forced by her alcoholic mother to use her ability to make extra money, Maddie identifies the quick approaching death date of one client's young son, but because her ability only allows her to see the when and not the how, she is unable to offer any more insight. When the boy goes missing on that exact date, law enforcement turn to Maddie. Soon, Maddie is entangled in a homicide investigation, and more young people disappear and are later found murdered. A suspect for the investigation, a target for the murder, and attracting the attentions of a mysterious young admirer who may be connected to it all. Maddie's whole existence is about to be turned upside down. Can she write things before it's too late? This whole book is actually just a writing prompt that you find on Pinterest. You think I'm joking? Okay, really. I'll add a picture in here of the almost the exact writing prompt that I found on Pinterest. It literally feels like this author was on Pinterest and was like, ooh, the first writing prompt that came up. I should write it. It will be a bestseller. Obviously, in the middle of this, there's a love interest that comes in and it's like, oh, I love you, even though of your ability. Of course, she has a broken up family with a drunk mother who is an alcoholic and wants her ability for profit. You know, I gave this a 3-star rating on Goodreads, and I don't know what position I was in at that time, but like, no. What I have learned is that some people actually really like this book, and I mean, okay. This next series is The Selection by Kiera Cass. You may be fooled by these covers. By the way, I only like this one. This one is probably the most frustrating out of all of them. Here's the synopsis of The Selection. The opportunity to be swept up in a world of glittering gowns of priceless jewels. To live in the palace and compete for the heart of gorgeous Prince Maxon. But for America Singer, being selected is a nightmare. It means turning her back on the secret love with Aspen, don't get me started, who is a case below her, and leaving her home to enter a fierce competition for a crown she does not want. Then America meets Prince Maxon. Gradually, she begins to realize that the life she's always dreamed of may not compare to a future she's never imagined. Here's a fun line. As the threats outside the palace walls continue to grow more vicious, America realizes just how much she stands to lose, and how hard she'll have to fight for the future she wants. What threats? Is your gown not pretty enough for you? I also forgot to mention that, yeah, she has another love interest named Aspen who is like, oh, but I loved him first, but I also love Prince Maxon. Oh no, a love triangle. A love triangle. The one way you get me to get away from a book and scowl at it is a love triangle. I mean, my favorite book ever that everybody should read, it has a love triangle in it. But it's a good love triangle, okay? It works. Anyway, I would like to say Kiera Cass, the author of this book, is woman power to the max, and I love this author as a person. I also forgot to mention the spin-off series on their child. I don't have that book with me because, let's just say they're child's brat. And I read the first 20 pages and was like, I can't handle this. To start things off, the main character's name is America Singer. You want to know a fun fact? Her first name is America. She lives in America. She has, oh, get it, red hair. Her last name is Singer. She's a singer. Can you get any more unoriginal? And it is once again probably one of the most stereotypical books I've read. Small town girl somehow manages to run in and find a prince and gets picked for, get the selection. And ooh, he falls in love with her and only her. And you know, honestly, to go against my opinion here, if I knew this was going to be stereotypical, I don't know why I read it. I might have read it just to be able to hate it. Prince Maxon and America's Singer's relationship is so forced that you're going to hate this picture, but it kind of just feels like, while writing, it's kind of like the writer was sitting down and was like, let's take a girl with her Barbie and Ken doll and smash their faces together and make them have no choice. That is what this love relationship is like. If you have relationships like this in real life. Also, I just realized that there's a whole thing online about the selection, like the story, but with Barbies, so. And throughout the series, almost everything is a letdown. Everything. I think it was in the one, there was like a raid, if I remember correctly, and you know, people were coming in trying to hijack the castle, and obviously she got to get to safety because, you know, she's the only good one in there out of what, the like, I don't remember, like 15, 20 girls there. She's the only one that, you know, is suitable. I was waiting for them to go on some sort of like giant journey to get her back and for it to be interesting, but apparently that's not a thing in this world. It was kind of like I sat there looking at the shelf and I was like, I want to be a part of that. Like, I want to go into that giant party of people who like this book and talk about. And then like once I read it, I was like, maybe I shouldn't. But in its defense, it was a very interesting, I guess, storyline approach. Prince has to pick a couple of girls to go to the castle. I forgot to mention that these characters, they have numbers like for society. 1 is like amazing and like 10 is like This next series is probably gonna get me in a fight. The next one's Twilight. I get it, I really do. I get why some of you like this, and I get why back then you liked it, because this was before Vampire Academy and Vampire Diaries and Shiver and other werewolf books that I don't know about. Basically every paranormal romance book ever. But it hurts. It really hurts. I also get that some of you love this book more than life, and I get it because I also love a book more than life. The Infernal Devices. I just really want to know how the entire female population of this earth fell in love with a vampire. Just terrible, terrible acting. My mom likes Twilight, okay? Like, no, loves Twilight. And even she agrees with me that the acting in this movie sucks. And before you come for me, just know there are things I like about this book. They're just very few. I just hate more than I love. So 1, the storyline in general. You're wondering why this book looks like somebody tore it up. I did not, okay? My mom bought it for 25 cents at a garage sale, and frankly, it deserves you 25 cents all around. The main reason I don't like this book is something that y'all are just, you're either going to agree or disagree. It gave us 50 Shades of Grey. Yeah. No. And if you're like, no, that does not make sense. How did Twilight give us 50 Shades of Grey? In case you didn't know, 50 Shades of Grey is Twilight fanfiction that somehow in this terrible, terrible world got published. You don't believe me? Look it up. I think that the main root of the problem of just this in general is not having common sense. Okay, just hear me out. In this situation, in Bella's situation here, okay, if there was a creepy guy that people already talk about at your school and tell you that he's creepy, and all of a sudden follows you around, shows up in your room unexpectedly, walks around in the middle of the night, in the day, he's like super fast and like you just whiplash. I mean, how would you react to that situation? That's right, you would call the police and put a restraining order on him. But what does Bella Swan do? She goes around with her lip bites and just completely fails to realize that she has a paranormal stalker. And not to mention the fact that Bella is so bland. And even Twilight fans agree with me on that, okay? So don't come for me. I mean, for instance, Tessa Gray is a very well-rounded, very respected, amazing woman who does everything for herself and just, you know, I want to be her, okay? And then you have Bella Swan. I would say I'm ready for the hate, but I don't have enough subscribers for that to actually happen. One book I actually enjoyed is Simon vs. the Homo Sapiens Agenda, and if you have not read this book or seen Love, Simon, you totally should because I bawled the whole way through it. So thank you guys for watching and have a great day. Stay tuned for the bloopers because Emily can't do anything correctly.
And I just want you to feel right.
And leaving her phone? Ah! Oh my god, they're all falling. I got it. Falling off my bed too.